My name is Jason Morris. I am a lawyer, believe it or not, despite the t-shirt. And I practice a solo practice in Sherwood Park called Roundtable Law. It is located on the second floor of my two-story home, which is a really good commute. I also have a consulting company called Lexpedite.ca that I literally started last week, helping small firms use cloud technologies to kind of take advantage of the automation options that are out there. So if you ever have any questions about that, you can let me know. Is this up on that screen too? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so the presentation is Pro Bono v. Solo, the Dawn of Access to Justice. Obviously, Batman, Superman. In the United States, Batman versus Superman. In Canada and the United Kingdom, interestingly, Batman and Superman. We knew all along how it was going to end. And Dawn of Access to Justice, why? For me, it's the pro bono and solo. And to tie into something that the dean said, I want you to think of solo as a method of delivery of pro bono law, because really that's kind of what it is. And so they're in the same access to justice league, let's say. Why, my question, why is it that there's so much attention paid to the issue of access to justice, but in the course of that conversation, there's never any attention paid to the question of how friggin' hard and scary it is to start a solo practice? That should be a part of that conversation, and it almost never is. And I'd like to explain to you why you're not actually going to have to make any sense of this. So basically, the basic argument here is, look, this is a market for legal services. We have a very small segment of the market that can afford certain types of legal services. We have a very large segment of the market that can't. In economic terms, that's an inefficient market. Too little legal services being produced, the price is too high, it's inefficient, right? What's the solution for an inefficient market? The solution is you know what the real solution would be. We need a single-payer national justice care insurance program so that we need pro bono lawyers in the future about as badly as we need pro bono doctors right now. Have you ever heard of a pro bono doctor? I Googled pro bono doctor. It's not a thing. But in the meantime, and in the real world, what we could do is this scribbly thing here. We could move closer to an economically efficient market for legal services. It wouldn't be a perfect solution to the problem, but there would still be distributional equity problems. No perfect market ever serves everybody, so we would still have a problem, but two major advantages. One, the number of lawyers that you can draw from as a pro bono organization goes up, because there's more lawyers practicing. And number two, there's fewer people who need pro bono legal services, because more of them are getting them from the actual market and being able to afford them. So I feel like this is a non-altruism based way that you might be able to actually shrink the problem. So what do you need in order to move the legal market towards efficiency? Essentially, you need more lawyers providing more legal services more efficiently. So, can pro bono get us there? Do you think that anyone has ever started lawyering, kept lawyering, or learned more efficiently because they weren't being paid? Yeah, pro bono is great. Pro bono is an intensely important part of what being a lawyer means, but it doesn't slice, it doesn't dice, it doesn't julienne, and it also doesn't do these three things. That's not to take anything away from pro bono, but it's not capable of solving this problem in this way. The answer, unfortunately, there is no. Solo practice. Now we're talking. The answer is yes, yes, and yes. It can do all these things. The first one, get more lawyers. If it's easy, and I mean like brain dead easy, to come out of university with a law degree and start a solo practice in your basement, a laptop, a scanner, and you're going. So many more people would use a law degree for lawyering and people lawyering, the kind of lawyering that pro bono clients need. With the third one, make lawyers more efficient. How does solo practice make lawyers more efficient? This is the thing, a solo practice is like a small ship. Small ships turn faster. They can adopt new, more efficient methods way more efficiently. In fact, brand new ships, you can just launch them in the right direction. There's no institutional momentum that you have to get over in order to adopt new technologies. which is why I think law schools really ought to be teaching you guys technology stuff right here before you get out, so that you can just start doing this stuff the way it's possible to do it right now. Don't even get me started. But, middle one. This is the really important one. I don't think enough people realize how huge a problem this is. You will have heard people say client retention is easier than client acquisition. Absolutely true. Lawyer retention is way easier than lawyer acquisition, and we have a serious lawyer retention problem in this profession. Really, really bad. So, how big is that problem? You guys remember this? Kanye jumped up on a stage when Taylor Swift was winning an award and was like, "I'm gonna let you finish," or whatever. And then the very next day, he went on Jay Leno's first ever episode of a failed TV show and cried about how he really wanted to change. That was 7 years ago this day. Okay? Of the people who started practicing private law in Alberta, and when I say private law, they're not working for a government and they're not working for a corporation. So they could, I mean like in-house. They could be working for corporate clients, but not in-house. Of those people, all of the people who have started since Kanye cried, half of them have quit. And for the women, it was 2 years ago today. Okay? We have a massive attrition problem. And I think, although I can't point to any stats, that the people that are leaving are the people that pro bono organizations most need. So, with all of that said, with all of this opportunity that could come from making solo really easy, why is it that at the Access to Justice League meetings, pro bono is there, and solo isn't? Basically, your pitch is better, pro bono. You say, do what you usually do, but do it for people who don't pay. That's a great pitch. Everyone understands the value of charity. It's been a virtue for thousands of years. Our pitch is, hey, why don't you take this opportunity that you have to take a very comfortable middle-class career, very solid income prospects, and basically be perfectly secure for the rest of your life, throw that in the garbage, and come over here and start a business that you don't know how to do because you haven't been taught how, you don't know anything about it. But start your own practice and do it from home, and do it with technology that no one around you has ever seen. Our pitch is terrible, I admit. But the thing is, does it have to be that bad, right? I don't think so. And there isn't enough time in 7 minutes to explain why, but here's the thing. The only reason that starting a solo law practice right now is scary is because no one has bothered to do the things it would take to make it easy. Okay, so here's what I propose. If you are a person who cares about access to justice, and I presume that everyone in this room is, I think that everyone should be, but if you are one of those people, you are my audience, you should also be a person who cares about access to solo practice. Access to solo practice is the single non-altruistic thing, that we could do that would make a really big difference. Now, it's not easy. What I'm saying is not that we can just snap our fingers and make this happen. Lots of things would have to happen if you're interested in what. Come talk to me, and we'll go over it. But the main thing that I want you to keep in your head is, if you care about access to justice, you care about access to solo practice. And the reason is this. Imagine what all of the people in this room and all of the organizations represented by the people in this room could do with the other half of us. Half of us are gone in 7 years. That's me. Thank you very much.